live. I swear I look better on Instagram than I do on Facebook. Anyway, hey there, this is Jenny Rochelle, and this is the Surviving His Sex Addiction and Betrayal Trauma show. Usually it's a weekly show that I do every Sunday, but today is Wednesday, and I'm popping in for an unscheduled episode because last night I did a very brave thing. I told my story. I told a story at an event here in town called Story Department. It's put on by a nonprofit called the Austin Bat Cave, which is a great organization that does writing projects for underprivileged kids. They also teach adults how to write. Great. Google Austin Bat Cave. They're amazing folks. They do amazing work. But one night a month, they hold this event called Story Department, and they invite people from all over to volunteer to come tell a story. And so I first went and attended this with a friend of mine back in January of 2018, so almost 2 years ago. And she and I set a goal that in 2019 we would tell a story. Well, last night I just got mine in under the wire, and let me tell you, it was one of the scariest things that I've ever done. I mean, public speaking is scary always, but so I ended up, the story, because I wanted to up the ante, the story that I ended up sharing was the story of my initial discovery, meaning the day that I first discovered that my ex-husband was a sex addict. And so I say up the ante because here I am in front of this live audience of people, and I'm talking about the worst day of my entire life. So obviously my nervous system was super dysregulated. But the thing that I want to share with you is, as I was writing and preparing to tell that story, which is the first time really I've told it that publicly ever and really out loud in quite a while. And what I realized was, I can forget because I'm so far from that moment. But like back in that moment when I discovered that something was wrong, I don't think I actually used the word sex addiction yet. I didn't know that yet. I didn't know what it was. I didn't recognize it because you don't know until you gain some insight and information about this terrible disease. And so I didn't call it that. But what I did know was that something was really wrong in my marriage, and that my husband was sick, and that he had a problem and he needed serious help. That's what I did know. And, and this really is just integrating lovely with all these messages that I've gotten from the universe this week. And I've really been setting in discernment about, because I keep getting questions about what sex addiction is. And I keep getting feedback from women saying that they're not sure that's what their husband is. And so I'm having to take a step back and realize that for you may not know, like you have caught your husband doing something. You've discovered some sexual behavior, some problematic, repetitive sexual behavior that is troublesome to you. And you don't have a name for it yet, but your body and your intuition, everything, radar, red flag is going off saying something is wrong and I don't know what it is. So I just am here to tell you, like I've said this many times, I can't tell you, I can't diagnose if it's sex addiction, but I just urge you to pay attention and to find the right help. Because back in that moment, what I realized yesterday was I used to talk about that from that first discovery that I stayed in this still 2.5 years of what I was calling denial. But what I realized yesterday that I wasn't in denial. I had a lack of information, and I had severe PTSD from this experience. And I even went to my therapist, who I've been seeing for years and who I love and adore. She did not know how to help me because she didn't know about sex addiction. And if I had met the right person, someone like me who was an expert in the process of dealing with sex addiction and betrayal trauma, if it's not sex addiction, it's still he has betrayed you in a sexual way that is traumatic to you, and you need a specific set of tools and guidance. I'm not saying I'm the only one. There are lots of people who can help you. If you start Googling betrayal trauma, you can find. But absolutely, that's why I do what I do. Also want to tell you that that's why I do what I do, because I spent so many years in denial, in the dark, really, because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have the right information. And then even once I realized what it was and named it sex addiction, it still took years before I found the right people, the right support team to help me manage and figure out what I needed to do and to take control of my life again. So those are the things I want to share with you today. One, this powerful moment, and that even though it was 7 years ago, retelling the story out loud, ooh, my body was on fire. And again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If it's a problem for you, it's a problem. If it's a problem for you, it's a problem. It doesn't matter what you call it. Just pay attention to your body and trust your intuition. And also, if you have more questions, I've created a guidebook, sexaddictionguidebook.com. You can go download it for free. Let me know if you have any thoughts or questions. Again, sexaddictionguidebook.com. I never thought I'd be the poster child for sex addiction, but here we are. Thank you. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Bless you.